Hey Clashes, we had the new update with more housing space, new levels for troops, for spells, and much more. Did it change anything for the number one strategy? Not really. The number one strategy still is the Royal Champion charge with the Root Riders and is still dominating the game. So I thought I would just dive into this strategy yet again, especially since we have the Clan War League around the corner. So let's just remind everyone why this strategy is the number one right now in Clash of Clans. Okay, we're starting with one of those isolated Town Hall bases, which means they're designed pretty much around this ring of defenses like this over the entire base. And then with the Poison Towers, they're trying to have a lot of splash damage to like defeat healers and such things. But we need to interrupt the ring somewhere. So let's see where we could interrupt the ring. The far right side works, I think, pretty solid. And we could enter into the bottom side. That, I think, is our best bet. So let's just do that. Royal Champ right here. We might have to invest in invisibility spell to like redirect her or something. But I guess we will just see how she's walking. And she's actually going right into the area where we want her to have. Which is just perfect for us right now. Next invisibility. And right now, things are looking really good. The only thing... the Fox is staying behind, which is kind of unfortunate. But I think for now, it's okay. We're clearing some more defenses around the outside. Now the next invisibility. Let's see. Where do we go next? Multi-arch tower. I like to get that as well. No problem. Let's just turn that invisible again. And then we are doing that next invisibility again. And I think we should be good to go for greeting a little bit and take that poison tower as well. I think that's fine. So like this, because everything is going to be healed up again with our main push. Now, since there's no invisibility in there, we can just like try to damage a bit with the giant arrow, like outside buildings. That's the more important thing, right? More important stuff right now. And then as soon as the outside ring is interrupted, we're starting with the Root Riders. Just like this. There's a lot of skeletons, but since we have the Royal Champion and everything, we don't really care. The Valkyries I delay a little bit. Can just strength the outside, by the way, really easily. Should have maybe delayed the Royal Champ a little bit further, but I guess it's still fine. Not of the Valkyries in here. Can rage stuff if we want to, if we have to. So far, nothing is going to my Royal Champion. I'm really right now having a closer look at my Royal Champion at the hit points. Now as the Giga Bomb's going off, I think that's a great timing to use the Warden ability. And so recover some hit points on that Royal Champion. The Minion Prince is going to split to the core. Taking that out, I think I will use the ability because this is covering most of the backhand damage already as well. And now we can start with our Super Barbarians to reinforce the outside to push everything quicker through the damage area, because this is really what it is. You have those inner ring, which is dealing a lot of damage and you want to get through. Now let's just rage the Minion Prince, because this hero has so much damage that, yeah, you can just rage it and it's like a one-man army or like one minion army. Whatever that thing is, like, you know what I mean, okay? Like, it's a one-hero army, let's put it that way. Wall break somewhere, we have another freeze left if we want to. And this is actually not even close. It is just disgusting how strong this is. And it's going to give you so many 3-stars. Really, those ring type of bases are still so popular. And they have like different forms, obviously. But you always have like this type of core. Sometimes more isolated, where only there is the town hall. Sometimes those little islands with or without rage or invis tower or something like that. It is always the same approach. Interrupt the ring somewhere and then just try to stop this pathing. And that's exactly what we did. Take down this right side, go in from this bottom side, and then just follow the ring and take down everything. With that, first base is done. Next one to go. Well, as I just said, those type of bases are super popular, and we're actually facing one of my bases. Like, this was one of the first versions out of all of those type of ring bases. I had in the core a bit of more damage compared to the last base, but the approach is still the same. As I just said, we need to interrupt the ring somewhere. So, a lot of people like to interrupt it around the clan castle, but with the Tesla and the mortars, messing up the pathing is a little bit more risky. So I'm just going now from this bottom right side to interrupt the ring. Let's just use the ability right away to get into everything really quickly. Then use the invis to skip the air defense and take down this compartment. As soon as we're having this compartment out of the way, the entire pathing is set up, right? Like, we can recall the Royal Champ already, because with the scatter shot going down, we can just enter from the bottom side. The only thing we have to be careful of then is like possible traps, especially things like this Giga Bomb. That's the important thing we have to be careful of. There is no invis tower in the core, so we can use the giant arrow and angle it. That would take down outside defenses like this air defense to have everything push even further into the middle. So that's kind of what I'm going to do now and try to aim it at that direction. So now have everything in here, obviously the healers and the test students. Make sure that you always try to spread them out a little bit. And now we're trying to aim for the air defense, just like this, perfect. We have the Valkyries in here. and obviously the Royal Champion as well. Why do I go for the air defense? Because with this air defense gone, the troops should quicker now go into the core. Let's distract now the Monolith with the Skeleton spell. I think I will even place another one just to be super safe, that everything is there in the core and tanked. Can now use the Rage right here. Warden ability should be now, so we can heal up even the Minion Prince again. The troops on the outside with the Archer Queen are just like keep going through, doing their job, and getting everything done. Minion Prince, let's just use the ability right now to clear out of the archers because I don't have a poison, but the Minion Prince ability can do that just for me. And we have still a lot of barbarians for the back end, but right now I'm just waiting for my other troops to catch up so we can share the damage. As soon as they're getting close to the cannon and everything, that's the time where I want to then have the super barbs on the back end, kind of like tanking and sharing the damage with the remaining troops, which I still have in this army, which is still plenty, right? Like, I still like all of those Valkyries, the Root Riders, everything, even the Royal Champion is still alive, and then we can do another wave of super barbarians for the back end, or we share the damage yet again. As well at this point, because we have a lot of small spells still left, which means like freezes, invis, and everything, that's now the timing where we can like have the barbarians and support everything with even more spells. Just use another freeze. We can have the Royal Champion protected even further with our invis spells, but right now there's no threat on her, so we can just swag them. And that's another 3-star for us. This is just really by far the most popular style still, and it's just so easy to overpower them. Like really, it's all about interrupting the ring. And for the defender, obviously, is to like to deny that. But as long as you're really patient with like your pathing and everything, it's you're good to go. Like you're just good to go. But finally, we have now a different style of base, and those sort of bases can be sometimes a bit tricky. For this one, you need to like it's all about pathing again. And since we have a lot of damage in the core, we need to be careful on how we approach this. But I think the best thing is always to come in from the flank of the town hall, which means going from this cannon to the expo and then further behind the town hall. For that, we need to set up this pathing, right? So the Root Riders are actually following this path. For that, we have to take down this bottom side with our Royal Champion. I won't use the ability right away. You can still do that. I typically always use the ability early, but when there's, like in the beginning, not as many hit points on those defenses, I can just delay it a little bit and then use it as we're getting further into the base. So let's just get the next invis in here. Looking good. We get the expo out of the way as well as she's turning invisible again. We can use it like this. I really want to have the defending Archer Queen because she might be able to mess up the pathing. And now we're just recalling. Next step for us now to enter, as we just said. Why do I enter from the left side and not from the top side, for example? Would have been possible as well. I think especially now as I'm seeing the fire spitters and they're not symmetrical. We could have went from the top side. The reason why I went from in here is because of the Giga Bomb, okay? So the Giga Bomb is the main reason because then I can combine the Warden ability with blocking Giga Bomb because I'm not trying to delay the Warden ability for too long. That's pretty much the main reason here. We have this entry being kind of common, obviously. It's baited, so like with a first Black Mine popping up. But you don't really care with this setup because you have the Minion Prince to tank. We can even spawn more like Black Mine tanks, which makes this even stronger. Because we have the Minion Prince ability. Now let's Rage. And we can use then the Warden ability as well. Rage as we're getting into the more damage area. Queen still on the outside. Things are looking good. Minion Prince ability as soon as we're going onto this bell tower right here. There's now little to no damage coming back because we have everything blocked. Let's use the skeleton spells for the back end and for this top side for the cannon. Let's rage up again. Always make sure when you're raging, your main priority is not the Root Riders. You're trying to still catch them, but the most important thing really is the healers. That is really your bread and butter pushing through the base. Because if your healers are not affected by the rage, your Root Riders can actually take damage. I know this sounds crazy. Root Riders and taking damage. This is like the start of a bad joke. But actually, it is possible. And now, oh, I forgot all about my super barbs. Like, whatever. So it's like, if the healers are not raged up in the right moments, you can actually take some damage. So it's the important thing for you to rage them up when it's needed. And that's pretty much it. So another base tripled. And I have seen already some people are saying, I switched away from the Root Riders. There's too many anti-Root Rider bases out there. I'm really sorry, okay? This is not supposed to be like... It's not supposed to sound like blaming anyone, but the only person to blame if you're failing with Root Riders outside of the hard mode is the attacker itself. There is no existing base which can defend this. That's just how it is. If you fail, you have either selected the wrong opening or you have misexecuted something. That's the only reason. even if you're running into all of the traps which are existing in the base, with this approach, you can handle it because you have tanks for the black mines. You have your Tesloons, then you have the minion prince as a black mine pretty much. You have the henchmen as black mine tanks. You have so many tools to work around those traps, and like giant bombs, like who cares? I mean, you just use the warden ability and you're getting healed up again with the healers together. So it's really like this strategy is not defendable if you're playing it right, and that's the most important thing. So yeah, if you want to be ready for the Clan War League, make sure that you're playing this strategy a little bit, practicing a little bit, because obviously picking the right entry is key, and for that you need a little bit of experience playing this strategy. Otherwise, the link is as always down below the description. I hope you liked this video, and thank you so much for watching. Until next time, see you back tomorrow, and bye bye.